Hi guys, we are at disclaimer time. We've put up a few videos and we've had a few comments, but one of the things we'd like to point out, we all have different abilities and different disabilities. So I know I'm not the world's greatest kicker or puncher, but I do it to the limit of my injury, because I do have a spinal injury which causes me problems every now and then. I do have a shoulder injury, so again it affects my movement and ability sometimes. So we welcome your comments. But please bear in mind, we are not claiming to be the world champions at this or anything we do. It's just the limits of our abilities that we are actually doing. Okay. What we're looking at this time is we're looking at some covering drills with the cane, but also empty hand. I've trained with a couple of guys. I've trained with a few guys you might know, Ian Abernathy, Carl Cooper, and various other people, and they sometimes call a covering drill, Carl Cooper's toxic fighting system, and we've taken a look at this, and essentially flinch reaction, you're covering up and then you're protecting the head from attacks, and then you're doing your counters. Works well in the chair. So if I was to attack Kev and his only reaction, he hasn't got his cane, he's covering up. As I'm coming in, you can move. So all I'm doing is looking for a spot, and he's covering, he's moving his elbows, and he's got a line of sight. The other thing he's doing is looking at my hips. So as I'm moving to punch, you can actually see where I'm going. Now at the moment I'm doing this gently with open hands. Ideally you want to be wearing gloves and be going a bit harder. I have done this, I've punched the elbow, I've hurt my hand, damaged my wrist for a bit. So again, it's a cover-up drill, very quick, anyone can do it. We also do this same thing as we said before with the cane. We can bring it up, we can cover, and we've got this whole system here, exactly the same thing. Or you can bring it across the body. Again, we're covering, we're protecting, but we've got the added advantage of the cane this time. So again, what I'm looking at, I've come in, he's there. I try and come in, whatever I do, he's covered. He's got a strike. Now here's the things with the strike. We're just going to slowly introduce some pressure points. So we've got what we call the third eye point and gallbladder 21, which will be here, which is in the centre of the forehead, and the temples. So again, if I'm coming in, he can either clear the cane, or he's striking here, or swinging round with this piece, or with the shaft, and he's going to be striking the side of the head. So as I'm coming in, he's locked me up, and he's striking. So these are two of the vital points of the bubushi. Okay guys, we're going to do that with a bit more of intent. As we said before, it's no good training with a partner who will fall for you or react to you without you having actually done the technique correctly. So when we're looking at this, I'm going to put on a head guard. Well, the other thing Kev's done for me is he's changed his cane. This is a walnut cane from Grandmaster Mark Shuey, CaneMasters, as we always use. He put down his hickory cane because if he makes a mistake with his standard cane, I'm going to be at the very least knocked out. At least with the walnut cane, it's a great walking cane, good for trapping, good for locks, but it's not as dense, so I've got more chance of not being knocked out. So again, look at your training equipment, will it suit? So what we're looking at, and I'm just going to put my head guard on. So we're not going to go from the guard position. All he's going to do is use the crook of the cane, and what you're doing is aiming for this point here. When you aim for this point here, your intention is for it to come out at the base of the skull. So I'm here. Okay? Yeah. That was a light tap, but that put me out of action for a second or two. And as you can imagine, that's a long time for your opponent to do nothing if you're being attacked. So that was a gentle tap, through a head guard, a lot of reaction. He just gently does the side of the head, slightly worse. Okay, but if you train to stop, you will stop. So again, if you're concerned about hitting too hard, what you can do as you strike, you're hitting gently, but you're following the cane through and allowing yourself to go through as the strike would come. So you don't get into this habit of striking without actually making contact. We have had incidents of students who practice like this, they've gotten into an altercation and they've stopped their strike short. So please practice with intent, carefully, with equipment, and make sure you follow through with your techniques.
We tend to use 1/10 intensity and 1/8 speed. For the cane user, you'll find people will grab your cane, and we've done videos about that with the sticky cane. But for safety's sake, it's horrible being hit, and it's horrible being the person that actually hits someone, especially as a training partner and friend.
Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to share.
Click the notification bell next to the subscribe, and we'll send you an email every time we upload new videos. If you want to see more of Kev's journey, look below, there's a link to it. If you want to see any more from the walking cane self-defense CaneMasters, click on the video there. Don't forget, go over to Mark's site on YouTube, which is CaneMasters, or CaneMasters.com, to check out the dojo.